Moser missed it at the horn, and what a miracle! Here we go, 5.3 seconds. Horn, and what a miracle! The Denver Nuggets, with a ragtag team, stunned the Philadelphia 76ers in overtime, 125 to 124. Oh my God, what a win! That is incredible. Absolutely insanity. Here we go, 5.3 seconds left. Denver leads it by 1. Philadelphia needs a bucket for the win. Inbound over to Maxey. Maxey has it at the point. 2 seconds to go. Floater. Missed it at the horn! And what a miracle! The Denver Nuggets, with a ragtag team, stunned the Philadelphia 76ers in overtime, 125 to 124. Oh my God, what a win! That is incredible. Absolutely insanity.
Did we not call it yesterday? Did we not? Where we were discussing the idea, like I didn't know everybody was going to be out of the lineup, but it was just what they were up against. It was you had the easy win that was against Brooklyn that you kind of blew because you didn't feel like playing basketball that night. You didn't feel like giving effort. And then you, on the second night of a back-to-back, have to go to Philly at the tail end of this long road trip with a whole bunch of guys hurt. You decide we aren't going to play Jamal Murray. We're going to sit down Christian Brown and AG because they aren't going to play in back-to-back games. We aren't going to play Tim Hardaway Jr. We aren't going to play a host of guys that even for the mesh unit Nuggets that I have right now sitting in front of me, We're going to wave the white flag and say, you know what, Philly, congratulations, here's your dub. And before the game started, I mean, you have 9 active players. 9. 0 from your starting 5 and 0 in your top 7 on your lineup. When you get down to the 9 guys that are playing, features a 43-minute night from Spencer Jones, a 42-minute night from Jalen Pickett, a 44-minute night from Peyton Watson, and Zeke Najee's playing 32 minutes, and Curtis Jones is getting his first action. Meanwhile, the 76ers, who are a 19-14 team heading into this, are playing everybody. They have Paul George, and they have Embiid, and they have Maxey, and they have Edgecombe, and they have Quentin Grimes, and they have McCain, and they have everybody else that's on that roster that's active. To get a win like that is simultaneously the most amazing and predictable thing the Nuggets could do. If there's been a single calling card of this team over 5, 6, 7 years, very simple. Whenever you think they don't stand a chance, that's when the win comes. That's it. You think they got no shot? Here comes the dub. But even by their standards, the win yesterday was insane. You needed to have a 29-point night from Jalen Pickett, a 24-point night from Peyton Watson, a 21-point night from Zeke Naji. All these different guys that we have, like Peyton Watson's certainly not one of those. But it kind of feels like we've given up on the Zeke Naji thing. It does. You know, Hunter Tyson hasn't played all year. He threw in 14 points. To win that way in Philly against that team made it all the more sweeter too, didn't it? That it was before the game, I'm sure you guys saw the same things that I saw. Philly fans were now like, oh yeah, what are you guys, ducking Embiid? No, very big difference. Jokic didn't play yesterday and not play today. He hasn't played for a long time and will continue not to play for a long time. It ain't hard. I know I'm just speaking, something that should be common sense. But fans, especially in Philly and especially about that team and that particular player, don't seem to possess that quality.
Common sense. Common sense.
It feels like Dion was in. If you wear headphones while listening to the show, as myself and Nelly and everybody else does, because we have to, it sounds like Dion is inside your brain.
Especially in the middle when he's going, common sense. Yeah, for
let me hear
headphone
this
users,
again. Hang on.
Okay.
Common sense. Common sense.
He's sniffling in stereo.
I know.
I love it.
By the way, it's a big day here because not only did the Nuggets have this amazing comeback victory, not even comeback victory, they were ahead for a good portion of the game, but this impossible victory. It's also day one of the Mosies. It'll be today and tomorrow.
We're doing it, man. And
so our year-end award show that we do that looks back on all the worst things that we did from the year previous, that will happen throughout the course of today and tomorrow. Yes, Nelly.
So I have the Denver Nuggets app on my phone, and I sign up for updates. I get the push notifications.
Yeah.
And yesterday, I got the notification at half, and they always put the leading scorer from each team.
Yep.
And then the score. So I get the notification. Denver at Philadelphia. It's 58-58 at the half. Leading scorer for the Sixers, Joel Embiid, 15 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. Leading scorer for the Nuggets, Jalen Pickett, 14 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. I'm like, That is crazy. If Embiid and Pickett have the same stat line at half, what the hell is this game?
Oh, when it was halftime, I was just like, all right, so here's the story tomorrow. The Nuggets are obviously going to lose this game, but man, they played hard. And you got to give them credit. For them to actually come out with a victory, given what they were missing and given the opponent that they were playing and where they were playing and the second night of a back-to-back, I don't think you could have had a bigger sort of discrepancy between like a game in which I thought the Nuggets would lose without question before. And Nelly, can you look this up for me? What was the line in this game at tip-off? It had to be like 16. Had to. Given what they're missing, like there's no way it wasn't. But again, this is what the Nuggets do. Now, we can have a larger discussion if you'd like, which is, are these guys actually more talented than we thought? And there was a hesitancy from a previous regime to put those guys on the floor? Maybe. I mean, I'm not going to do that after a single game. I've seen a lot of people wanting to make sort of the one-to-ones here. I've said it forever. By the way, what was the line before that game started?
According to CBS, DraftKings had the 76ers as 15-point favorites.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds right. I wouldn't have been surprised if it was more than that. But here's the larger discussion. I know we witnessed this in real time. I brought it up on the show several times as it was happening. I just didn't have the confirmation from anyone that this is true, but it was a very, very educated guess. And look, I don't get hunches all that much about things that feel off. But there's one thing I can do. I can read people and body language really well. I knew the Booth-Malone relationship thing was weird. And I was way more in the Malone style than I was the Calvin Booth style, which is if you're in a championship window with a all-time player in your prime, I don't want projects. I don't want players that will take 2-3 years to develop. But the moves that were made by GM versus the rotations that were played by head coach were so incompatible that you knew something was going on. And so you go out, you have all these draft picks that if you're a team, typically, like this is what happens in the NBA. Team in a championship window has a whole bunch of draft picks. Remember, one year, I think they had 3 first-round picks. Or maybe it was 2 and a really early second. Can't remember. Team that's competing in the NBA flips those to bad team to get maybe their one good player or one really good role player, and you bring him over so that there's no learning curve. It's just ready-made NBA basketball players, kind of like what we saw this offseason when you get Bruce Brown and Tim Hardaway and Jonas Valanciunas. Like, you get those, and you're saying, I am ready to plug and play these guys. They're veterans. They will fit in immediately, and everything will be fine. Much like what we've seen from Tim Hardaway Jr. this year. When Calvin Booth took the draft picks and actually used them on college players, and then they never played in years, that's your disconnect. So last night, those guys play. And Jalen Pickett, well, I actually think he is a solid NBA-type player. He really does feel like somebody that can go out there and give you solid minutes. Now, last night, obviously career high because he was kind of the dude on the floor. He was 11 of 20 from the floor. He hit 7 of 11 threes for 29 points. But whether it's Pickett, whether it's Najee, whether it's Hunter Tyson, whether it's Julian Strother, whether it's Peyton Watson, who's really been the only guy who's really gotten playing time outside of Christian Brown from years ago. Maybe these guys can play and they're just looking for opportunities. Zeke Najee played 32 minutes last night. Looks like when he gets some time and he gets comfortable within the lineup, knowing that he's going to get playing time, knowing he can make a mistake, that it helps. Now, I'm not here to make some grand proclamation that, hey, Calvin Booth was right and Mike Malone was wrong. Not doing that. But I've thought forever, like in the case of Zeke Najee, this is what's been so frustrating. And when you see something like last night, I think it makes it even more frustrating. Zeke Najee has been in the NBA for a while. He was drafted in 2020. So this is his 6th year in the NBA. 6th. I'm going to ask the same question I've asked multiple times about Zeke Najee in particular. Do we know what kind of basketball player he is? Do we know if he's good? Do we know if he's bad? Do we know if he's okay? Do we know if he's NBA caliber? And after 6 years, I still don't have an answer for you because I feel like I haven't seen it enough. And yet, he's just there. Always on the bench. Like, that's the stuff that's frustrating. You give him an $8 million a year extension, and I still don't know if this guy can play because he just doesn't. So I'm still not willing to take sides on things, but I do believe the strategy that Calvin Booth took, which I disagreed with, didn't get the full opportunity to really see if it would work or not because Malone refused to do it. And then you see a game like last night and you go, maybe he was onto something. I'm not willing to say that he was correct and Malone was wrong. I'm just saying it was an interesting test case yesterday. So 303-504-0925, Shop Mazda text line, one price, one person, 1 hour. Again, the Moseys are today. We'll start them at 7 o'clock. We also have this as an Avs Ticket Tuesday. So you'll have keywords all day to listen to on the 20s of each hour for a chance to win a pair of tickets. So all of that is coming your way today, along with mixing in, obviously, some Nuggets talk. We'll talk about the Avs game happening tonight against Tampa. We'll talk about the Broncos. And I do want to, throw one thing out there about the Broncos and what this weekend means for you. And it's a power ranking system on who you'd most want to play to who you'd least want to play. So we'll get there in just a second, along with the keywords. Stick around. All right, big day today. Mosey Awards start today. They'll be today and tomorrow. Our year-end awards celebrating the worst things that we did last year on this radio program. Avs tonight, and you know Tuesdays by now. It is Avs Ticket Tuesdays. They're powered by Papa Murphy's, and your 620 keyword is syrup. Like maple syrup. So text syrup in your first and last name, syrup, and your first and last name to 303-504-0925. Get you a chance to win tickets to the Avs and Senators for Thursday night. You can celebrate $10 Tuesdays at Papa Murphy's on Tuesdays only. Get any large pizza for just $10. Order at papamurphys.com. But your 620 keyword is syrup. Text that in your first and last name to 303-504-0925. Wait a minute. Sorry, I got distracted. I saw a text. Guy just texted in his name. It's Robert Cadwell. Oh, I thought it was Caldwell. I was like, Bobby Caldwell. I bet you've wondered where I've been. Yeah. Sorry, I got distracted for a second. Now.
He's on the Mount Rushmore of, that dude's white?
Yes.
He's right next to Stevie Ray Vaughan.
So, you know what's funny about that? I listened to this band. They're called the Teskey Brothers. They're really, really good. Saw them because they came to town. They're playing at the, why am I blanking on the name of the place? It's down in Lodo. Like a really cool venue. What is it called, Nelly? Indoor.
You talking about the Mission Ballroom?
Mission Ballroom. Thank you. Goodness gracious. So I saw them at the Mission Ballroom. Not only does the singer sound like Otis Redding, he's a white guy who's Australian, which freaked me out. I was like, all the times I've heard these songs, not at all what I pictured you to look like or sound like in your speaking voice. Anyway, syrup is this hour's keyword, so text that in your first and last name to 303-504-0925. I got a thought here regarding the Broncos and sort of power ranking what you want the matchup to be. The nice thing about this weekend is it is stress-free. You got nothing to really worry about. And I think that there is a real conversation to be had about whoever the matchup is in the next round. Is there anybody that makes you feel comfortable? Because the answer is probably not. But you're going to be facing any combination of one of these four teams. It'll be the Steelers, it'll be the Texans, it'll be the Bills, or it'll be the Chargers. One of those four. The best case scenario, and most unlikely, is that you play against Pittsburgh. To play against Pittsburgh, not only would they need to beat the Texans, the Jags would have to beat the Bills, and the Patriots would have to beat the Chargers. All of the higher seeds would have to win for that to happen. I just think that is wildly unlikely considering two of the three teams that are the wild card are favored on the road against their opponents. And the other one is the Patriots and the Chargers. We're a healthy Chargers team with I guess, healthier, with Justin Herbert. Could easily beat a Patriots team that hasn't been tested by good football teams for a good portion of this year. Against a quarterback that's never played a playoff game. Could totally happen. But ideally, you play against Pittsburgh because I think they're the easiest to get got. However, I don't see that happening at all. Which leaves you with any combination of Texans, Bills, and Chargers. And so I would have Pittsburgh 1. I think I would put Houston 2nd. They have gotten better as the year has gone on. Their offense has gotten better. But there is something I think that you can get after C.J. Stroud and make him uncomfortable, and the running game isn't all that great. To where if you're looking for how do we win without having to put up a large point total, I think that's the game you look for. And here's the one I have trouble with. Who would I least want to see? Is it Buffalo or is it LA? I really think my answer is the Chargers, and here's why. There is something to the Harbaugh having Sean Payton's number thing. There is something to, I trust the mind of Jim Harbaugh more than most other coaches in the NFL. Buffalo poses a serious threat for one reason, and it's Josh Allen. But we've seen that Bills team get stymied before offensively with really good defense. They just played against Philly a couple weeks ago, and the final score was 13-12. You can make him uncomfortable, as you can most other quarterbacks, but this is why I think Harbaugh and his ability to be strategic and draw up a game plan scares me a little bit more. Not to mention facing a team for a third time this year. You tried to gift wrap them a win, gift wrap the Broncos a win last week, and it still felt like you were pulling teeth to try and beat them. I think they're the worst one. If I had to power rank the least team I'd want to face, it's not Buffalo, it's the Chargers. Like, when you look at what could be potential disaster here, you just finished the season as a 1 seed. You won 14 football games this year. To get bounced by a divisional opponent in the divisional round would stick with you. And if we're just talking pure matchups, there is something about the Harbaugh matchup that just doesn't totally mesh. That it's different. And I think that Sean Payton's a very good coach. Very good. There's only a few coaches in this league that I would take over Sean Payton. You consider what he's done here in the last few years to turn this thing around as quickly as he has. But I'll tell you right now, I take Harbaugh over him because I take Harbaugh over most. And Harbaugh is a flat-out weirdo. But that weirdo knows ball. Like, he knows exactly how to... He constructs game plans that... You know when you have those dreams and you're either in a fight or you're running away from something, and then all of a sudden it feels like you've taken 1,000 muscle relaxers and you can't lift your arms or you can't move your feet to get away. It feels like every time you play against Jim Harbaugh, that's what's happening. Like, you're aware of everything that's happening surrounding you. You're aware of it. You might even know the way to get out, and it's just you aren't allowed. So, Texas says, has Harbaugh won a Super Bowl? I don't care. If you've listened to this show for any amount of decent amount of time, you would know that those arguments with me, I brush off to the side. No thanks. Because Peyton Manning didn't win a Super Bowl. And remember, he was a choker in the postseason until he wasn't, and then he went to multiple Super Bowls and won multiple Super Bowls. And there's plenty of guys we can say that about. I can tell you this, Harbaugh has won a national title at Michigan, and he has won everywhere he's ever been. I think that's the nightmare scenario, is that you play against them again. And who was it? There's a video of a Chargers player leaving the game last week. He was walking through the tunnel to the locker room. I think it was Troy Dye. What's his name? He hates the Broncos. He said, I hate them except for J.L. Skinner. That's my dog. That's what he said. Everybody but him. Point is,
quite frankly, you.
If there's, by the way, anything that I've said so far, if you disagree, 303-504-0925. By the way, syrup is your keyword for this hour. So text that in your first and last name to that same number. The Chargers are like, look, is it the absolute worst without argument? No, I think you could make a real case for Buffalo. I think Houston's scary, but in comparison to the other two, I think they're the preferred option. And again, ideally, you want to play against Pittsburgh, but you would have to have so many things go your way to get that matchup in the second round that I don't think it's happening. So I'm taking that off the table. So 303-504-0925. Just in general, though, you look at this playoff bracket, and as far as teams that can win the Super Bowl, that I think have a legitimate shot, starting in the AFC, yes, I think the Broncos have a shot, and a decent shot. I think the Texans do. I think the Jags do. I think the Bills do. I think the Patriots do. I think the Chargers do. I think everybody outside of Pittsburgh's got a shot. And on the NFC side, I think the Seahawks do. I think the Rams do. I think the Eagles do. I think the Niners do. And I think the Packers do. I'm not buying it. So the only teams that I've kind of left out of this discussion, Pittsburgh, I don't think has a shot. I just don't think they're talented enough, and they will get rolled over by, even if they win this first-round game against Houston, one of these teams is going to get them. The next option on teams I don't think are going to make it, Carolina is just, they aren't good enough. I like Bryce Young. I think it's a cool story that they made the postseason, even with an 8-9 record. They aren't going to do anything. The questions become teams like the Bears. The Bears are the 2 seed in the NFC. I don't know how many people trust the Bears right now. I think that they are on their way to being a team that could be competitive. I don't think it's happening this year. They've won a lot of games in very odd fashion, with no real consistency on how they've done it. Like, they have these last-second miracle things that I just think if you're relying on that in the postseason, isn't going to be ideal unless you have an elite combination piece with it. Like, you could make that argument for the Broncos. The Broncos have certainly done that, but I think they have an elite enough defense where, at minimum, they're going to have that every week. The Bears don't have that. So I think I'm really leaving 3 teams off the table on this, which is about as wide open as you're going to get in the NFL for when this starts. Don't really remember another time that it's been quite like this. Like, another little wrinkle and tidbit, by the way. Let me name the quarterbacks that are in the postseason. Bo Nix, Josh Allen, Jordan Love, Justin Herbert, Bryce Young, Caleb Williams, Drake May, Trevor Lawrence, C.J. Stroud, Sam Darnold, Matthew Stafford, Aaron Rodgers. What do all quarterbacks in the playoffs this year have in common? I'll give you a minute to think about it, because they all got one thing that's on their resume that is not, look, this is not going to be shocking. It is something that we've all kind of thought about in football before, and the path to success. All of them are first-round quarterbacks. Now, is there an exception to this? Yes. There is one. Brock Purdy. That's it. All but one team has a quarterback that was drafted in the first round. Brock Purdy was the last pick of the draft. Threw a little wrinkle in there. But this is a long-standing sort of thought that I've had on this. I don't think it's impossible for you to find a quarterback in the middle of the draft. It's not impossible, but it's highly unlikely. And here's why. When Bo Nix was drafted by the Denver Broncos, my beef with this, oh yes, and Jalen Hurts also was not a first rounder. It was still early, not first. But here's my beef, when the Broncos drafted Bo Nix, my beef was not with the reaching aspect of it. That was not the problem. I really don't think it's possible to reach on a quarterback, and here's why. If you are drafting somebody quasi-high in the draft, and not some guy that you're hoping to be a backup so you take him in the 6th round or something. If you're looking for a guy to start for your football team and you don't draft him in the 1st round, then you aren't convinced on that guy in the first place. And why would you even take him? Like, the idea of a 2nd or 3rd round pick at quarterback is such a foreign thing to me. Whenever we talk about value in the NFL draft, and we can continue this on the other side, but value in the draft, you can't draft that guy at that position here because that's not valuable enough, the position that he plays. Oh, yeah? What if he's an 8-year starter and a 4-time All-Pro? Now it's valuable enough. And I don't even care what position we're talking about. Outside of kicker and punter and fullback. But if you find anybody that is one of these positions on the field, linebacker, running back, receiver, D-line, O-line, safety, whatever the case may be, if you draft him number 1 overall, which nobody drafts like a middle linebacker, number 1 overall anymore. Why? Because the position's not valuable enough. Well, what about a guy who's a 12-year starter for you and a Hall of Famer as a middle linebacker? I would say that that's valuable enough. I would say that if you spent a 1st overall draft pick on Barry Sanders, you've gotten your value in return. And when it comes to quarterbacks, to me, there's no in-between. If you think this guy's a starting quarterback, he is your 1st-round draft pick and probably somebody you should consider trading up in the draft for, or he's not draftable at all. There is no, I think this guy could be, we're going to spend a 3rd-round pick on him. Why? It almost never works. So we can continue this on the other side. Last reminder, keyword for this hour on this Avs Ticket Tuesday is syrup. Text that in your first and last name to 303-504-0925. 20 minutes away from the Moseys. Stick around. All right, get the Mosey starting in about 15 minutes, so stay tuned for that. It's an early one for the Avs tonight, live from their site of the Stanley Cup win, Tampa. Coverage starts on 92.5 at 4:30 with the pregame show powered by Ramos Law. So, a lot of things to discuss today. The Nuggets in their win yesterday, I've called it the most predictable, impossible win ever. This is what the Nuggets do. When you think they got no shot and they're trotting out a summer league team against a fully healthy Philly team in Philly on the second night of a back-to-back, of course they win that game. It's been the most predictable thing of the Nuggets over the last few years. The game that they have no shot in, that's impossible, turns into the game that, yes, we end up winning. Jalen Pickett was amazing. And you needed really to have any shot in that game, a couple of guys just to step up and play well. And in this case, Jalen Pickett and Peyton Watson and Zeke Naji and Hunter Tyson and Bruce Brown, like all those guys stepped up and played big-time roles. Now think about the lineup I just said out loud. Bruce Brown is the only guy that you would say is an NBA experienced player. I know other guys have been in the league, and again, don't mean any disrespect to them. I guess Peyton Watson too. But as far as like gotten real playing time for a good bulk of their career, in every night guy, it's Bruce Brown and it's Peyton Watson. And then you had a whole bunch of guys that were just hoping to figure it out. And I'll tell you this. If that game ended with, I don't know what happened defensively, when Maxey drove the ball to the rim with a couple seconds left in OT, and it looks like he's wide open, kind of stumbles, throws the ball up, it bangs off the rim twice, and falls off. If that went in, that would have been one of the more deflating things that could have happened. That you got all the way to that point to just not come away with the dub was terrible. And Nelly, you texted this to us because it's true. If you go back and look at, I don't know if it was Katie Wingy or if it was the Nuggets Twitter page that had this video, it was the Nuggets. It was far side from where the final play happened. So it was underneath the Nuggets rim. So they showed the highlight of, I think it was Bruce getting that last bucket to put them ahead. And then it was that long camera shot across the court of the final play. And when that shot missed, you heard a very audible groan from the crowd. Then the camera person gets on the floor, kind of gets in the face of some of the guys who were celebrating on the Nuggets. And you heard them breathing. It was so quiet there. And I could only imagine, because we all know this about Philly. It's dissipated over the last couple of years because of Embiid's injury stuff. But there was a real, you want to call it rivalry or not, I mean, there was something. There was something extra to the games, is what I tell you. So take that for whatever, like, sort of word you want to call it. There was an extra sort of oomph to any Philly and Denver game that was played over the last few years. And they thought, hey, the Nuggets are all, they're all benching their starters. If this were a shoe on the other foot, you would say that Embiid's ducking Jokic. We all know how ridiculous that argument is because Jokic is hurt. If Embiid was out for a month and didn't play a game in Denver, there would be no argument for ducking them. He gets the ducking allegation when he goes through pregame warmups and 20 minutes before tip-off, he's pulled off the floor. That's what ducking is. Anyway, I don't know about you guys, by the way. I'm over the Philly thing now. I will say there was something that was a little bit sweeter last night just because the Philly fans drive me nuts. But the Embiid, Jokic, whatever thing they had over the last few years, I'll just tell you where I'm at with it. I have a lot of pity and empathy for Joel Embiid. I liked that there was some sort of like quasi rivalry between the MVP discussion and all that stuff. I think it made it more fun. We all knew the obvious answer for who's better. Like, we know that Joker's the better player. I think even the most ardent Embiid and Sixer fan that you would find in Philly should and would be willing to admit that now, too.
Brett, you know where I am with this whole thing? You know, there's that meme, I think it's from Mad Men, where Don Draper's in the elevator and some guy says to him, you know, I'm not mad at you anymore.
No, he says, I feel bad for you.
Oh, I feel bad for you. And then he says, I don't think about you at all.
Right.
That's kind of how I feel with the Sixers. Is I have completely forgotten. I'll forget about the Joel Embiid, Joker, MVP, war, beef, whatever you want to call it, until they play each other. And then they'll go, oh, right, that was a thing.
I do think, though, that I have... Like, I was watching Embiid last night, and he was good. Like, Embiid did what he always does. He puts up a whole bunch of points, 32 points, 10 boards. He had some brutal turnovers at the end of the game, though. I think you could almost make a direct correlation to how the Nuggets stayed in the game was because Embiid couldn't stop turning the ball over late, especially on the second-to-last possession of regulation, where he kind of just throws a bullet at a guy 2 feet away from him, bounces off him, and goes out of bounds. He looks broken. And I think that's sad for a guy who is really, really talented. You can just tell, like, this is another classic example of a professional athlete who's very talented, whose body betrayed him. And that's been Embiid's case his entire career. But he doesn't move right. No, he's been in the league for a minute. He's not some 25-year-old guy anymore. He's 31. I believe that's Jokic's age, right? Is Jokic 31 or 30? But yeah, I got some empathy. So I'm like, that sucks. I didn't want this whole thing to die because Embiid couldn't physically play anymore. But anyway, getting a win against them, I will admit, that feeling I have is not totally over because I did get a little extra out of it. I did. If they did that against Cleveland, wouldn't have felt the same. There is something about doing that to Philly in Philly, and I think it's the fan base thing. But it was incredibly impressive. The post game, by the way. Actually, Nelly, I know you're doing a million things right now, and I apologize. Can you try and pull up on the Nuggets Twitter? They had locker room audio of David Adelman, where he's borderline emotional after the game, and I understand why. I mean, this guy just went out the night before and called his team unprofessional. And in doing so, the following night, they decided, after I've called them unprofessional, I'm going to bench all the players that usually play, on top of the guys that are hurt. And then to go out and get a win like that, I think he actually said at some point when he was talking to the team, he's like, I'm going to stop talking or else I'm going to get emotional right now. And I get it. Like, that is, you put down on the resume, because we were begging for one of these all year last year. You guys remember this? We're like, what was the signature win of the Nuggets season? Nothing's going to top that one last night. Nothing. Given what you were up against. So let's hear it. Go ahead.
That was one of the best NBA wins I've ever been a part of in my life. Again, I've done this for a long time. That was everybody that played giving something to the game. Scrapping, fighting, just trying to find a way to win the game, man. I cannot tell you how proud I am of you. Okay, and just a reaction to what happened yesterday. Guys are out. Okay, we come to play, we come to win. Every game we play. I don't want to go much further now, I'll get emotional. That was special, man. That was special right there. All right?
You heard that. A little quiver in his voice when he was talking at the end. So, great win. We'll talk more about this as we go along today. Busy day. Avs Ticket Tuesday. We got more keywords on the 20s of every hour. It is day one of the Moseys. Keep it tuned here all day. Find out what the worst things that we did over the past year on this radio show was. You can always watch the show live on Twitch. Twitch.tv, search Altitude SR in the search bar, the Altitude TV simulcast. That is the Safeway Twitch feed. Order online, Safeway does the rest. Get great deals and easy delivery. Free delivery on that Safeway app, so download it today or go to Safeway.com. You can also watch on YouTube. Subscribe to the Altitude Sports Radio channel today and don't miss anything from Denver's #1 sports station, Altitude Sports Radio 92.5. Moser, Lombardi, and Kane, and those Moseys start next.
Here we go. 5.3 seconds left. Denver leads it by 1. Philadelphia needs a bucket for the win. Inbound over to Maxey. Maxey has it at the point. 2 seconds to go. Floater. Missed it at the horn. And what a miracle. The Denver Nuggets, with a ragtag team, stunned the Philadelphia 76ers in overtime. 125 to 124. Oh, my God. What a win. That is incredible. Absolutely insanity.
I don't know if incredible even does it justice. It is unbelievable. I don't think anybody went into this game other than the Denver Nuggets thinking, hey, let's just play hard and see what we can do. Maybe we can win this game.
Playing hard matters.
It's a special day today.
You think?
And it's not just because the Nuggets won, and they went to Philly with a summer league team and beat Joel Embiid and all the starters for Philly in Philly on the second night of a back-to-back.
That was so satisfying.
That's not even the reason why it's such a momentous day today. I have 2 sport coats in my closet. I have worn one today because it is the Mosey's.
Wow.
The next 2 days going to be full of all the worst things that we've done over the last year on this radio
Worst
program.
or best?
Worst. I like this. Yeah, it's the worst. It's the worst that we've done.
What?
Look at all these envelopes, all these categories that we have to get through over the next couple of days.
Unbelievable. You know, just when I think that we can't screw up, the next year more than we did the previous year, we do. It's amazing.
I like this tight around my neck.
Clip-on? Get a little clip-on bow tie there?
Yeah. Moser special because he doesn't know how to tie a bow tie.
So before we get to our first category, and it is an Avs Ticket Tuesday, we're going to mix in those keywords as well for you to win a pair of tickets to the Avs and Senators coming up. Didn't we mention this yesterday?
You did.
Knowing. Oh, I didn't know that Jamal was going to be out and Hardaway was going to be out and all those different guys.
Yeah, but you called it. I'm going to give you full credit. Yesterday's show, it was Brett Kane who said, "Yeah, watch, they're going to go out and win."
Of course they were.
I thought it was laughable when you said that. Honestly, I wanted to slap you. I wanted to, with the back of my hand, I wanted to reach across and slap you.
It is. Look, this is how I describe it. It's the most impossible and predictable win that the Nuggets could have. Because they do this all the time. The game they have no shot, no business in winning, no players on the floor, second game of a back-to-back. You were just called out for being unprofessional. Yeah. Your starting 5 features none of your regular starting 5. Your top 7 guys are out of the lineup. And Jalen Pickett drops 29 points, and you beat Philly in Philly.
Let me make this very easy on all of you. Am I supposed to wear glasses? I'm not. I don't wear sunglasses inside. I don't do that.
You don't do the red carpet right then.
That's ridiculous. I'll wear glasses, but I'm not wearing sunglasses inside.
You got to do the red carpet, Vic.
Yeah, I'm not wearing sunglasses inside. That's a personal goal of mine.
Fine.
But I will say this.
Yeah.
I've watched over 50 years of Nuggets basketball. 50 years. I think that might be, if it's not it's top 3. One of the greatest regular season wins in the history of this franchise.
Oh, hang on, Vic.
Did you hear what I just said?
Let me quote you. One of the great Nuggets Riffler season wins of all time, and ice all of them, damn it. That was Vic's immediate reaction on Twitter after the game.
I was so excited I couldn't get it out. Is that what I wrote?
Yes.
Wait, one more time.
One more time, please.
Yes.
One more time.
I'll do it slowly this time. One of the great, all caps, by the way, one of the great Nuggets Riffler season wins of all time, and ice all of them, damn it.
Listen to me. I want all of you people to understand. So I want you all, as you're driving around, as you're listening, what I say about Nuggets games, hey, no heed whatsoever to them. Twice in the last week, I have asked the Nuggets to punt games. The Toronto game and last night's game.
To be fair, they did.
They pretty much did.
They did punt.
In an effort to punt, when you don't play your top 7 players, isn't that the definition of a punt?
Can I say something?
Were you not in punt formation?
Yes.
Yeah, you
That
were.
was punt formation.
This is going to sound really bad, but I don't want it to. Typically, if you have a Hunter Tyson sighting, it's bad. It means something either
or good,
something bad,
or you're up 40 in the fourth quarter. Yeah.
Okay. But dude played minutes last night and scored, and I'm like, that's awesome.
Points.
Yeah, I love it.
Had a 4-point play.
So did Zeke.
Cool.
And so did Jalen Pickett.
Jalen Pickett was otherworldly.
He was so good.
I'm going to tell you a quick story about Jalen Pickett, and this is factual information. So we're doing our media day stuff, and I'm talking to a Nuggets assistant coach. Works behind the scenes, not a front-running defensive coach, offensive coach, but he's background.
Yep.
And I said, what's the one thing I need to know about this team in the offseason? What did you learn? And he said, Jalen Pickett lit up the world in off-season workouts. I go, what? He goes, in summer games, in pickup basketball, in gym work, in scrimmages. He lit everybody up. He was otherworldly. I go, really? He goes, yeah. You saw that Jalen Pickett last night.
Yeah.
That's what you saw last night. What he did to barbecue Joel Embiid was the stuff of legend. He barbecued the man, got him on an island, step back three in your face. How many times did we see that?
Yeah. Look, you're 7 of 11 from three-point range. If there's one guy, and look, there's a larger discussion I think we need to have, and I think it's too early to have this, but I see it happening already, discourse online about maybe Calvin Booth was right, and maybe these guys can play. So we can do that in a little bit, but bottom line is, I've always felt like Jalen Pickett looks like he has the ability to be a totally fine backup point guard for you, right? Like, he's got enough game to him where at least you can trust him, I guess is what I'm saying.
One of the reasons I took great joy out of that game, out of that win, and why it ranks among, first of all, as far as exciting games go, I thought the Christmas night game was more exciting because they were down in overtime, and they were down by 9 in overtime and found a way to win that game. By the way, in that overtime victory against Minnesota, the Nuggets scored 27 points, most ever. Do you know how many points they scored last night in overtime? 5.
Yeah, they scored 5 points. Yeah.
That's right.
Think about that for a second. In one overtime, they scored 27.
Yeah.
Last night, they scored 5, and it was enough to win the game. But anyway, I regard that as one of the greatest of all time simply because the guys involved, I've gotten to know them. Moser, as you well know, you get to know some of the other players on an Avalanche team who may not be frontline guys. I've gotten to know how much work they put in. And you can see the difference when you put a player on a court and say, go, it's your night. You don't have to worry about getting pulled. You don't have to worry about making a bad turnover and we're going to put you on the bench.
There is
you don't
something
have to worry.
to that.
Yeah, you have full confidence, right? You've played athletics. You know what that's like.
Yeah.
Nelly, you and your geek in the bands. when you have full clearance to just start blowing that horn and you blow whatever the hell you want to do, you have a freedom, right? There's a freedom to that. You're gonna play with freedom, no cautiousness there. And that's what you got out of these guys last night. And it was a pleasure to watch.
I've said for a while, Moj, that, again, we'll save the bigger topic for a little bit later in the show, but it's one of the criticisms I had when Malone was here with young guys is it felt like he would have them on such a short leash that they would be terrified to do anything wrong, and then you're playing tight, and then it just doesn't look right. You have to be able to play, as Vic said, with some freedom, and when you go out there with 9 guys, that's all you got. I make a mistake or not, or I take a bad shot or not, I'm going to play. Like, for example, Vic, I thought there were moments, and I thought Peyton Watson played well. He looked a little bit too much hero ball-y at the end of the game at times.
But they needed him to do that because it opened up opened up the perimeter.
Yep.
Somebody had to put their head down and go, and he was that somebody last night. I have nothing but gratitude for everyone's effort last night. Were there times where you're like, all right, calm down? Yes. But that's going to happen in the course of a game. Everybody did their part. And it's amazing to me, you mentioned it during the appetizer, Moj. One night, David Adelman basically rips into his team for a lack of professionalism. That same team, albeit different players, goes out and plays the most professional brand of Nuggets basketball I've seen in years, if not decades.
And I loved his post-game reaction talking about the coach.
He got
I loved
emotional.
his speech. I mean, yeah, and you know what? Because he cares, but because his guys responded, and because it was such a fun type of win. You saw a bunch of stuff last night that you typically don't see from these players that you typically don't see, and it was just it was a feel-good story, man. It really was. Plus, to beat Philly, to make those guys angry, to make that building so damn quiet. Paul George's face and Embiid's
Joel
face.
Embiid, one of the most hollow
faces.
30-point efforts I've ever seen in my life. Like Joel Embiid, you know what that game showed me last night? And I don't have anything against the guy. What an overrated player. You know what? A player's supposed to make his team better, not just himself better. That's what great players do. You tell me what that guy is.
He's had, his style of game leans to that and it has for most of his career. I'll tell you this. Watching him, though, I said this in the appetizer. It's like we had this fun little back and forth with Embiid and Jokic and Philly fans and Denver fans and all that stuff for a few years. I do have empathy with Embiid. He, even in a 32-point performance, which is kind of his basic numbers he's had throughout his career, he looks broken. Like physically, he doesn't move right. Like,
right.
And I feel bad for him because he's a good player whose body just totally betrayed him. But you're right, Vic. I mean, that's been his brand of basketball for a long time. It's like he gets a whole bunch of numbers, but how much better does he make his team?
I just got a text from one of our bosses who said, "Why are you guys all dressed up?" Shame on you, boss. Shame on you.
Well, boss.
No, hold on a second. I'm going to take this time to rip our boss. How would you not know that today is the first day of the Mosey Awards? How is that not advertised? Maybe it's you know what? You're the reason people don't know.
To steal a word from David Adelman, you're unprofessional.
Exactly right.
Now, listen, in the boss's defense, they were going to be Thursday and Friday. This was an unexpected Mosey presentation.
You have to be able to move.
Yeah, man.
Okay, got to adapt.
We had to change the venue. We were going to have it, over in Beverly Hills, but we had to change. It happens. Speaking of, Nelly, can we start, please?
Welcome back to the 5th, 6th, 7th annual Mosey Awards. Who cares how many times you've done it? It's not like any of you guys know how to count.
Can you explain what these awards are?
So the Mosey Awards, they are our year-end awards. We take everything from the previous year, in the way I say it, it's the worst things that we did over the last year balled into an award show.
So you're taking bad radio and glorifying it?
Correct.
So the worst of our radio venture, what we've become as a group here, and I take great pride, you're taking the worst of what we've done and showing the people this is how we do it.
Exactly right. And this is what makes the #1 sports show in the state. That's what happens.
Yeah.
So,
right.
First category is worst bodily function.
Oh, I know who's getting this.
Nelly, how many nominees do we have in this category?
We got 6.
6 nominees. Nelly, go ahead. It's almost as if, I think you hit on something there, Moj. He had... Did I just hear a gremlin come back up?
And that happens a lot with
common.
Mark Moser.
It's so common. That sound.
Not to make excuses for a man, but he doesn't have a gallbladder.
Yes.
It's been taken out. And so I don't know how your body works without a gallbladder. That might be the
like
effect.
that?
Yeah.
Like that is how it works. What's next?
You're such an idiot. I was gleaning information from my text.
Like Moser just said. Oh my God, you're
coming out of his nose.
You're snotting.
He's got crap coming out of his nose.
I remember that
disgusting.
too.
Get out. Oh my God, look, he's bleeding from his nose.
Ripping. I do remember that. You just had a snot that hung like 3 inches beneath your face. All right, what's next?
I got a hole in my mouth. I don't know what to do with my tongue keeps going back there.
Add it to all your other holes.
My jaw won't operate properly. It's like everything's off balance. Have you ever had a tooth extracted, a molar? My tongue keeps going back to the hole in my mouth. It's the weirdest thing ever.
I even
So you feel like a child who lost their tooth and they can't stop going like this?
Yeah. No, but it's not a hole. This is a deep abyss. This may go all the way down to my feet.
Stop playing with.
Are you in pain or are you okay?
It's just fascinating when things develop in your mouth that you're not used to.
Jesus. All right, next. Well, a lot more to get to with these games as we go along. 303.
How do I sound, by the way? How does my connection sound here?
Like this.
Oh, God. Oh, no. Oh,
I tried to blow my nose and nothing came out.
Nothing came out. You couldn't do it.
Is that the blowing your brains out thing? Is that what that one was?
No, it happened again.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Here's how you do it. Here's how your Saturday's going to work. You're going to tune in.
Oh my God. It sounded like you died.
You're gonna tune it.
Oh my God. All right. Is that it or is there one more? I can't. Okay, one more. Go
I'm
ahead.
going to take the magic wand and wish a little nasal passage issue for yourself. Texter 1277.
Did you do it for me? Hang on.
Go ahead, Vic. What's the spell? Cast it.
Cast it?
Cast it right now.
Yeah. For you, I give you a nasal polyp or two.
That's like a Dr. Seuss
That's not
nursery
a
rhyme.
spell.
That's not a spell.
Yeah. I don't watch cartoons. I don't know how you people do this, you little magicians.
Watch out for the amazing
Nose
Vic.
is stuffiest.
No. Let's go to the amazing Vic and his magic wand. Red fish, blue fish. Or it's just like, what? Oh my God. Oh my God. What? Ew. Both of you. Gross. Go, Nelly. Ugh. You both started hacking at the same time. That's nasty.
unbelievable.
This is why I don't
Unbelievable.
like coming to the studio. First of all, I'm looking at a microphone that's got so many microbes in it. It's disgusting.
All right. Our first winner of the 2026 Mosies is Vic and Moser dying on the way to break. Congratulations to both of you. As always, our Mosey Awards are represented by Vic's Little Dinghy. So you both both get a Vic's Little Dinghy.
You get a mini
Awesome.
portrait?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I'm going to start
Awesome.
giving those away. If you want a Vic Little Dingy portrait, let's get those things shipped out. Let's go.
All right, so we have a lot more categories as we go along today. 303-504-0925. Your first keyword, by the way, for our Avs Ticket Tuesday comes your way next. All right, our emojis continue for the next 2 days, or I guess today and tomorrow. It is also an Avs Ticket Tuesday, so we have a keyword that we're giving away right now for your chance to get to the Avs and Senators on Thursday night. Avs Ticket Tuesdays are powered by Papa Murphy's, and your first keyword for this hour is bacon. Text bacon and your first and last name to 303-504-0925. Don't forget about $10 Tuesdays at Papa Murphy's. Any large pizza is just $10. But again, that keyword for this hour is bacon. So text that in your first and last name to 303-504-0925.
2 observations as we get going on this first day of the Emoji Awards, and we've got other sports that we're going to talk about. It's not just awards. 2 things. I've had many people mention that our boy Nelly looks exactly like Josh Groban, and you're right, he does. Secondly, I know that jacket you're wearing.
Exactly like Josh
Exactly.
Groban.
That jacket you're wearing, Kane, you say you have one of 2 sport coats?
This is one of 2.
And you know I'm colorblind. That is one of the ugliest looking sport coats I've ever seen.
It's just a great coat.
I'm just telling you, I'm looking at that going, wow.
I think this looks great.
One of the ugliest I've ever seen. Moshe?
I just think it's drab. Sorry. Drab.
Sorry. Vic's over here in a bow tie, no undershirt. My bad. Maybe I should have done that.
Oh, yeah.
You look like you're part of that band LMFAO, actually.
Either you do the bit or you don't.
I agree with our texter that says you look like a Chippendale.
Oh, yeah, you kind of do. So we'll get to another Moji category here in a few minutes. One thing I wanted to go through, just to get this out of the way right now, because you have what is, I guess a stress-free weekend when it comes to the Broncos. They don't got a game going on. You're waiting until next week to find out who you play. Just out of curiosity, where's the power rankings here for your potential opponents? Because it's one of 4.
Mm-hmm.
It's Pittsburgh, it's Houston, it's Buffalo, and it's L.A.
I'll take Pittsburgh number 1, obviously.
I think we would all be unanimous that Pittsburgh's number 1. It is also 100%. The most improbable matchup you're going to get.
Yeah.
Because that means that all the higher seeds win, and I just think one of the wild card teams is going to pull something out.
That ain't happening. I totally agree with you.
So that's ideal, but also least likely. So that leaves Houston, Buffalo, and L.A. left.
So I'll ask you guys this. Who's more likely to win? Buffalo on the road at Jack's or the Chargers on the road at New England?
I think it's a
more
great
likely.
Yeah.
I would say Buffalo because you're going against, first of all, oh, man. Here's what's difficult with New England. I think New England's really good. But there is something, too. New England hasn't been tested all that much by good teams. They haven't played a bunch. And Drake May has never played in the postseason before.
I think it's more likely that Buffalo wins in Jacksonville.
Yeah, I think that Josh Allen
I think Josh Allen, when the going gets tough, he's the kind of guy that I don't care if their defense is not great. He can put up 38 points and beat you. If he can single-handedly beat you, then that's a problem.
Moj, follow me on this logic. Tell me if you agree. I would rather play Buffalo than the Chargers because I think it's tough to play a division opponent 3 times, let alone play them twice in 2 weeks.
So it's funny that you mentioned that.
Play the Chargers,
I understand
dude.
that. I understand that. But they know more about you than any other team. I would rather play Buffalo than the Chargers.
I'll give you my list.
That's
I said power rank the 4. Pittsburgh's number 1, and it's not even close. Like, there's not even a team that's remotely in the conversation for the team I'd most like to play other than Pittsburgh. Second, I will put Houston for this reason. As tough as their defense is, I think it would be a lot easier to bottle up that offense because they don't have a great rushing game, and if you get pressure on C.J. Stroud, then they could be in some trouble. The next one's the toughest. It's who's next between Buffalo and L.A., and if I say this, if I say I would rather play Buffalo than L.A., how would you react to that? Because you played Buffalo last year, and they absolutely demolished you in that wild card round. Buffalo has the far more proven quarterback than anybody else. Justin Herbert, very good, but Josh Allen's an MVP. Buffalo's been there over and over again. They've won playoff games, all that different stuff. I'm just going to be honest. The prospect and what Vic was talking about of playing the Chargers for a 3rd time, knowing that Jim Harbaugh, when he's got his full ammunition, Moj, has had Sean Payton's number, And even in a game where the Chargers were trying to wave the white flag, it was pulling teeth to try and get a win against them. All of that stuff makes me very uneasy about playing the Chargers.
What about the prospect of the Chargers are going to Charger? What about the prospect of they just can't seem to get out of their own way?
It's a completely new regime.
That's fine. It is, but they still find ways to goof around and screw up sometimes.
What's the line?
Have they? They've won a whole bunch of ball games with everybody hurt from their lineup this year.
What's the line in that game? What's the line in all these games? Yeah, Chargers.
So
Buffalo,
the only favorite that's the higher seed in the AFC is hang on, let me find this again. Sorry. I just had it.
Houston would be a favorite.
Hang on, it's right here. 3, 2, 1. So Buffalo in Jacksonville. Buffalo is a 1.5 favorite. The Houston and Steelers game. Houston is a 3-point favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Chargers, Patriots. Patriots are 3.5 point favorites.
Hey, Vic, do you realize that the Rams are a 10-point favorite on the road? How crazy is that?
To a team they lost to earlier this season.
Yeah. Well, they're going to smoke them.
Do you think if the Broncos played, let's say, those 4 teams, let's just play Vegas for a second, would they be favorites against Pittsburgh? Yes.
Yeah.
Would they be favorites against Houston?
Yes.
Buffalo?
That's probably a pick-em.
Maybe.
Chargers?
Yes. The Broncos would be a favorite. They would be a favorite against at least 3, maybe 4.
The byproduct of being at home might give them the boost over all of them. Now, I think that the Steelers would be the only game in which they would be like 3-point favorites or better. But I think, look, we talked about this. All of those matchups feel like ones you don't want between those wild card teams. I do think the Chargers are last. Like, Mose, you didn't give your answer. Would you have the team you least want to face after the ones that we just mentioned? Is it the Chargers or is it Buffalo?
It's Buffalo. I don't want to face Buffalo. I don't want to face Josh Allen. I think he's incredibly dangerous. And here's the way I look at it. Buffalo may not have a great defense, but I think that Josh Allen's ability to get over on the Broncos defense is better than the Broncos' ability to get over on the Buffalo defense. I just think that they would be able to outscore their problems against you. Enough. That's what I think.
You know, Buffalo, they've had times this year, though, where their offense has really, really struggled. And when you talk about the elite defenses in the NFL, the games that they really struggled in, they played against Houston. Their offense couldn't get going all that much. They played against Philly a couple weeks ago. They ended up with 12 points. I said this before the season started. Buffalo's still good. They had to offload a whole bunch of good players for them to get under the cap this offseason. And I think it's left their margin for error a lot more thin to where it's kind of like if Josh Allen doesn't just blow up in every single game, they are really susceptible. Now, again, Moj, preference, I don't want Buffalo either. But there's something about Harbaugh and his ability against this Broncos team that just freaks me out. It really does.
I just don't think the Chargers are as good as the Broncos. I just don't think they are. I mean, I think they're a good football team, and yeah, I'm scared of Harbaugh's ability to drop a game plan as well, but I just don't think overall the team is as good.
Reminder to you guys, the keyword for this hour for this Avs Ticket Tuesday is bacon. So text that in your first and last name to 303-504-0925. Get you in the running for those Avs and Senators tickets for Thursday night. We'll announce the winner at 9:55. Before we get to another category, Moj, you're in Tampa right now for
Update. I'm waiting for an update, Moj.
No update yet.
Nothing, huh?
No update yet. No, yesterday was a complete off day for the entire team. I didn't even see another soul all day.
You're the media. You know what the problem is with the NHL?
I'm not the media.
I know. No, I'm not talking about you. This is not you.
Oh.
There's no Shams. There's no Schefter. There's no Rappaport. The NHL media is soft. There's nobody that comes up with this stuff. Because in the NBA, you'll find out right away. Shams will have a story. He'll get to an agent, and they'll have a story.
Yeah.
In the NFL, it happens instantly. But in the NHL, when it comes to these injuries and how they hide these injuries, and frankly, I think it's I think it's crap. You've heard my opinion on this. The fact that we still have no idea what his injury is. Because all it does is it leads to conjecture and speculation, and I think that's unfair to the player. Unfair. So it's stupid.
Yeah.
It's stupid that a day and a half later we still have no idea what the extent of his injury is.
You'll find out today, I'm sure. I'm sure that Coach Bednar will address the topic today.
Oh, I'm sure he will, but it's just amazing
we'll talk to him tomorrow, too.
It's just amazing to me how hockey operates this way, in stealth.
Who is the closest? Would it be, Friedman? Would it be LeBron? Who would you say is the closest to like a Schefter?
EJ, Elliott, yeah, all those guys.
And for
all
those of you who say, "Oh, HIPAA sucker," or it doesn't matter. Okay, if it doesn't matter, then don't ask. If it doesn't, let's make a deal. If it doesn't matter what we know about the extent of an injury, and I care about this guy, all right? Yeah. I want this guy to be healthy. If it doesn't matter, never ask the question then. Never ask, never ponder, nothing. Then you be content with whatever's out there.
I think there's something, I've said this before. I think there has to be a little bit of a give and take in sports between you and your consumers. Like, I understand that this is competition, but it also is an entertainment product, and you are making really nice salaries off of the viewership
100%.
of your consumer.
It's an affront.
Well, this is why I said, Vic, earlier this year, you remember when Dion didn't say who was calling plays on offense?
Yes,
and I said, I think there needs to be some sort of like transparency
100%.
between you and your fan base.
There has to be transparency here. I don't buy this. This is the way hockey's always done it. I don't buy that crap.
Yeah.
I don't buy it.
I agree.
It's stupid. It's ridiculous. It's archaic. And here's the deal. In the NFL, a guy like J.K. Dobbins goes down. We not only know which foot, we know the extent of the surgery, we know what happened, we know we got a timeline, we have everything.
Yep.
What? A hockey player's more special than a football player? Football player's not a physical, violent sport? A football game, they don't aim for a certain body part? Why? Because you've always done it that way?
Well, it's an early one today for the Avs as they take on Tampa. 4:30 with the pregame tonight, as Tampa is coming off a 7-game win streak right now, and the Avs take their third regulation loss of the season in their last time out, so hopefully they can get back on the right track, but you can hear it right here, Altitude Sports Radio 92.5. Let's get back to our Mosies, please, Nelly.
Welcome back to the Mosey Awards. I'm not a British traffic guy, but I can still do my bestest. Pip pip cheerio, jolly good, jolly good. Sorry, I don't know what British people sound like. Or I can't do it convincingly.
Who is that guy?
That's our big voice guy.
That's pretty good, actually.
That was good. He was trying to sound like Vic D. Our next category is worst use of the dump button. Nelly, how many of these do we have?
Somehow I narrowed it down to 5.
We have 5 different nominees. Let's start with the first.
That Four Nation thing they did in the middle of the season. I've been trying to get the NBA. You know, we got the All-Star game.
Was that live on our show?
Chuck.
Yes.
That was?
Yeah, it was Chuck, live on a
He
show.
called it the SEA All-Star game, I believe, if I remember right.
That's correct.
He did that on our show, and the thing about it, because he was on Zoom, so it got dumped on radio, but it went out live
TV
on
gets
television.
everything. Yeah.
Correct, yep.
I like that one. What's next?
At first, we were all fist pumping the Chiefs. Finally, I've been waiting on this time for them to be down, and it's our time, and it's our time. And then you start watching the past like 3 or 4 weeks, and you're like, holy these guys.
Emmanuel Sanders making an appearance. All right. By the way, all those fears that we had, you guys remember that midway through the season? It looked like the Chiefs were turning things around, and they finished the year with 6 wins. Great. What's next?
I give my hugs in that parking lot. I tell everybody I'm done. I cry in the locker as I'm putting my pads into my bag. I'm done. This is my last football game ever. Well, excuse me. Bill Belichick calls me. Yeah, give me a little.
What did he say?
Chad Brown. All right. He's got one.
Chad?
Yeah.
So we got 2 more here, Nelly. Go ahead.
If we're getting friggin' aproned and what else? Bird rights and all this kind of crap, and our guys got to flee the scene and go to Orlando and go wherever the hell they got to go. How do these guys fit 4 max hippo eating contracts in the friggin' starting lineup?
Moser.
I was so mad.
Moser.
See, this is why
was
Moser
so
can't talk
mad.
about aprons anymore. Can't do it. All right, last one. Go ahead. So
so
many
mad.
similarities, I feel like, to the team 3 years ago. They do. They still have, number one,
Yeah, but Lawrence, Kansas.
the best. It's just a city and a state. What do you mean?
Hey,
That's
oh, sorry. Sorry.
little things set me off. You have dropped that one multiple times, by the way. And every time you say it, I'm like, I think you're allowed to say it, but I don't think you're allowed to say it. So our winner for worst use of the dump button is Moser's F-bombs talking about the Celtics and aprons. Yeah.
Moser, you get a little dingy.
Congratulations, Moser. Another little dingy for you.
How many of those you guys got around your house, by the way?
I think I have like 11, 12 maybe.
Cool.
So a lot more to get to with the Mosies as we go along today and tomorrow. One final reminder, your keyword for this hour is bacon. So text that in your first and last name to 303-504-0925. Gets you in the running for Avs and Senators tickets on Thursday, but the keyword is bacon in your first and last name to 303-504-0925. You can listen to us anywhere on the Altitude Sports Radio app. It is powered by the Will Hite Law Firm. Injury lawyers go to willhitewins.com. That's willhitewins.com. Back after this.
Dudes, with a new year here, it's a chance to make a real positive change in your life. If you're struggling with any kind of form of erectile dysfunction, don't slough it off. Don't pretend it's not happening. Do something about it. It's a great resolution to have to take care of yourself. You got a bad foot, you got a bad elbow, whatever the case may be, you're going to get it taken care of. And now you can. Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic is going to help you because their treatments work when the pills or the herbals fail. Success rates well over 90%, and they've served the Front Range here in Colorado for nearly a decade, successfully treated tens of thousands of men. It's a new year. Make a resolution to treat your ED, change your life. Schedule an appointment today. It's just $99. You get the consult, the T, the PSA test, and a medically advised test dose right there in the office. If it doesn't work, then everything is free, but it's going to work, and you're going to be happy. 5 locations from Fort Collins all the way down to Colorado Springs. So call today, 720-440-7900. That's 720-440-7900, or go to RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com.
All right, we'll continue with emojis as we go along today. More keywords coming your way as well as it is an Avs Ticket Tuesday. Spit it out.
See what happened to your Huskers?
No.
I know you hate it when I call them your Huskers because you're not a Nebraska football fan.
Well, it shows how much I care, too. I have no idea what you're talking about.
They had Kenny Minchie, the backup from Notre Dame, the quarterback who transferred.
Oh, yeah.
Had him lined up ready to go.
And then he flipped.
And in the final hour, he decides to go to Kentucky. What I would want to know is, in this portal era, Moj, like live, how does that happen? Because money's related, right? Money's related.
Oh, he went to, was it Kentucky?
Kentucky,
yeah. So they just came in with a bag at the last second.
Exactly. So I would love to know how this money train works. Like, all right, Nebraska's going to give him this much, and in the final hour, did you hear about Sorsby and Texas Tech?
Yes.
Reportedly.
Yes.
The highest paid quarterback in the portal history.
Hang on a second. I'll tell you something right now about this Nebraska, Kentucky. What's the kid's name again? The
Minchie.
Minchie.
Yeah. Minchie.
That wasn't about money. There's no way. Nebraska could have matched whatever Kentucky was throwing
doesn't like
at
Matt
him.
Rule prefers the Stein guy who's the new coach at Kentucky.
I've thought this for a while. I think there's other incentives being thrown into the pot that aren't just cash related.
Really? What are?
There is no reason why a kid who has made a commitment would go to another school. And, now that you mentioned this.
I'm reading some of this portal activity.
Because here's why, Vic. Nebraska has they lost Dylan Raiola, who is making a whole bunch of money. They have the cash to match whatever was offered to him.
Yeah.
So why leave? It ain't just about cash. There has to be other stuff at play.
Meanwhile, CU, it's funny, the strategy that CU has employed right now, the portal strategy. When Prime first got here, it was all about Louis. It was all about, rating the SEC, rating the Big 12, rating the Power 5 schools, right? They're stocking up right now on FCS talent. I don't know if you guys have noticed this. FCS
did.
Smaller school, the James Madisons, the Tulanes, the North Dakota States. They're going to get those guys.
Yeah, but Tulane and James Madison they're FBS.
I understand what they are,
but they're also
smaller level.
That is correct. In fact, they went and got the head coach at Sac State.
I know.
And
they're chasing guys from UC Davis. I mean, it's crazy now how the strategy is turned up there. It's maybe we don't need to go with the biggest names or the biggest programs, but what we deem the best players and the best fit.
By the way, did you watch any of that FCS championship last night?
That was fun, man.
I heard it came down. I did not watch it. Everybody's told me it was a fantastic finish.
It was a hell of a football game, dude. I mean, the Montana State Bobcats win the whole damn thing over Illinois State. It was amazing.
Oh, the folks in Montana, in Bozeman, are so angry right now. They're so angry.
Yeah.
That's where Montana's located, right?
Yep.
I'm counting that right. And where's Montana State? Hold on, I should know this. Missoula?
Okay. Missoula, yes.
Yeah. That's a fierce rivalry, bro. That might trump any rivalry we have.
Can I ask you something about the NIL stuff and transfer portal and whatever?
Actually, no, hold on. No, Vic, you got that backwards. Sorry. The Montana Grizzlies are in Missoula. The Bobcats are in Bozeman.
Oh, gotcha.
You rattled my brain because I used to do Big Sky football and basketball, so I've been to both Bozeman and Missoula.
Which one's
nicer? Bobcats are. Well, in all honesty, Missoula's kind of become bougie, to be honest with you.
Oh, Missoula's like where all the California money's coming in?
It's
like
kind of become
watching Yellowstone. You have all those people with the big money coming in. Okay.
It's kind of become that, yeah.
I saw Dion, by the way, a few days ago on a podcast, and he was talking about the NIL stuff and the transfer portal.
I thought his speech, by the way, is he the best public speaker ever?
No, he's really good. I mean, yes. But he said something, he said that certain players chasing money in the portal are jeopardizing their futures, and I think that's right. His quote is this: I've never chased money in my life. I've chased greatness, and guess what comes with greatness? The money.
But see, here's where I would disagree with Prime. He was good enough to do that. Some players may not be good enough to do that. Some players may not have the talent that precedes them. Some players may not have that ability to say, name the price.
Right.
That's the difference. And that's what happens when, the one issue I have with greatness in that role is not everyone is going to have that greatness.
Here's what hit me, though. And I totally agree with you. I actually heard Tom Brady give an answer. He was talking to Joe Klatt, and he was asked about this. And Tom Brady, I was expecting the answer. He asked him this question. He goes, if you were playing in today's game, would you have hit the transfer portal and done the NIL thing? And I was expecting Tom Brady to give this answer, which is, of course not. I would have stuck it out because I like competition. He didn't say that. He said, I don't know what I would have done.
Mm-hmm.
And he gave this actually really great answer about it. But when it comes to the transfer portal stuff and NIL money, for Deion specifically, in his role at CU, here's what is kind of scary. Deion has not been paid on wins, correct? He's gotten a massive contract extension that has nothing tied to a win-loss record.
It's paid on attention and sellouts and merchandise.
And the prospect of who he can bring on campus, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's part of it. If his entire strategy, which was really smart, I would say he spearheaded this entire transfer portal movement before anybody else did, has now been commandeered by the people with bigger pockets, what does that leave you with?
Yeah.
Now what do you do? Because now you got to be a coach. Yeah. Now you got to be a developer. Can he do that?
I don't know, though, that his new AD is really concerned about, well, listen, you've got to win. But did you hear the comments of Fernando Lovo?
He said they're going to get very creative and they're going to skirt the edges here.
He said that he wants to make the Buffs a global brand, and they want to use the prime, notoriety.
You going to go back to Saudi Arabia?
Well, I don't know. I'm just saying that they want to make it a global brand and they want to branch out and so on and so forth. Then he said it's up to us as
brand. I don't know.
I don't know. He said it's on us as an administration to provide him with all of the resources that he needs. Interesting.
What does that mean?
I don't know. Vic, I don't know what it looks like. I don't know.
But what does global brand, how does that help your football team?
I'm going to go.
There aren't, there aren't flankers hanging out in Minsk waiting for an opportunity.
You just drop a flanker and Minsk on me at the same time?
Hey, there aren't flankers and tailbacks, hanging out in Belgrade.
I don't understand why global. I mean, let's try before we go to global. Let's try national. Let's baby steps. Baby steps.
You ever tried to find an H-back in Sao Paulo before?
I know.
It's impossible.
It's virtually impossible. That's correct.
How about how about focusing on the players in state? Not a single one of them committed to CU. Division I type of prospects that
here's
can
the
make
problem,
a difference.
Vic, but hang on.
Why don't we start there?
Here's the issue. And this, again, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but it's the concern I had when he first got on campus. Amid all of the joy and the celebrating and all that stuff, I had one basic question that is still left kind of unanswered for me. Can he develop talent? Or is he somebody that he's going to bring in mercenaries and try and win that way? Because here's the problem now. Everybody's in the mercenary game. You aren't the only one at the party. Can you take somebody who's going to be here for 2 or 3 years and develop them into a better football player? Because I'll tell you this, Kyle Whittingham did that for 2 decades at Utah.
But that era's gone. What is developing talent? Every team goes through major change every year.
They do, but look.
What do you mean? I mean, look at what Texas. Look at Indiana. Did you see what Indiana did in the portal yesterday?
Yes.
They're on the brink of a national championship run, and they're already working on next year's team, adding more portal players. What do you mean developing talent?
Okay, think about who your peers are. Okay, who are your peers in college football? I would say you are more like. Would you agree or disagree? Kansas State and Iowa State, teams that have money that they'll spend in NIL, but it ain't going to be money at the top levels of these blue bloods and everybody else. Mm-hmm. They have no choice but to develop talent. They have to. And I think that, look, you got to pivot here a little bit. I'm not saying you can't go out and get guys. I know that's your brand and what you do, but there has to be some level of when you get a team that's on your campus in February and you're going through spring practice. I'm going to ask Mosey, you answer this question. Did CU look better the last week of the season than they did the first week of the season? Or did they look pretty much the same?
They to me, they looked the same.
And
it was all the same thing.
That's what I'm saying. It's like I didn't see any improvement, and that's what needs to start happening. So we can continue this a little bit later.
What do you guys know about that Oklahoma State quarterback that's going to CSU? Do you guys know anything about him?
He looks good. He looks strong. Got nice biceps. I know nothing. I know Oklahoma State's been awful. I know they got the coach fired. I don't know anything about the quarterback.
Yeah,
I know that they're...
I can't help you. Don't know. Now, I can't help you with this. Another Mosey category.
Welcome back to the Mosey Awards, as we reflect on all the bad, the awful, the even worse from last year. And we encouraged it all.
It's kind of what we do. This category is always a favorite every year. Worst live read. Nelly, how many categories we have, or how many nominees?
5.
5 different nominees. Go ahead. Order online. Safeway does the rest. Get great deals and easy and free delivery and easy pickup.
Get it out.
I'm trying to find the read. And I got people throwing things around me at this desk. I'm just trying to do my job. Sorry about that.
A Safeway.
Get easy delivery or free pickup with the same great deals. Get started at Safeway.com or in the Safeway app. Safeway Fresh Foods, local flavors. Can also watch on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel and don't miss anything from Denver's #1 sports station, Altitude Sports Radio, number 25.
I mean, that's got to be the winner.
Number 25 is great. What's next?
About higher energy levels, better gains in the gym, sleeping better, waking up feeling refreshed, more productive at work, no more brain fog, and so many other things.
Brain
frog. Wait, no. I haven't even heard it yet. It just hit me. I know what the winner's going to be, but go ahead, Nelly.
Low T, most guys wait like a year to get checked. No need to wait. Get it done right now. I'm in there looking at guys. You get in, you get out.
It's over. It's over. The fight is over. The fight is over.
What's next?
David Lombardi here. Mark Moser won't stop blowing his nose, and I know exactly why. He's sick. He's sick because the AC was way too cold. They keep it way too cold in his house. They can't set the thermometer. They can't do anything right. Is it a thermostat or a thermometer, by the way? It's a thermostat.
Great question to ask midlife.
Oh, my God.
We're so unserious. We got one more. Go ahead.
We were having fun with old coach's comments a little bit ago about the kicking balls, but it's not funny if you're dealing with any form of erectile dysfunction, period, whatsoever. Brett, don't do that to me. You're a jerk. Look, it's serious. Nelly, roll it. We'll make it up. Good God.
He got through 12 seconds of the read.
I knew that one was coming. The other ones are great, though, too. Oh, my God. Yeah, and the winner is... Yeah, the live read that didn't actually happen for Moser. Yeah, that one was my favorite.
I don't know, man.
One more time. Let's hear that one again.
His first one I thought was better.
Yeah, I want to hear both of those, actually.
We were having fun with old coach's comments a little bit ago about the kicking balls, but it's not funny if you're dealing with any form of erectile dysfunction, period, whatsoever. Right? Don't do that to me. You're a jerk. Look, it's serious.
He's like pain.
Nelly, roll it. We'll make it up.
Good God. The first one, though, where he admits what he does at the Rocky Mountain Men's
let's hear
Clinic.
that one, too. I want that one again.
I thought that was better.
Low T, most guys wait like a year to get checked. No need to wait. Get it done right now. I'm in there looking at guys. You get in, you get out.
Hey, congrats, Mosh. Another little dinghy for you. How about that?
Come on, man.
All right, 303-504-0925. Another keyword.
I'm crying. I'm laughing so hard.
At 8:20 this morning. Stick around.
And now a live read. If you're into saunas, and I didn't know anything about saunas, I got a friend who got one, and I jumped in it one day, and I said, whoa, this is awesome. I got to get me one of these. Flatirons Fire and Design. Their showroom, North I-25 off 53rd and Bannock. They've got more than saunas. They got fireplaces, outdoor kitchen stuff. They've got everything you want for your house. But the sauna, my goodness, I used it last night. I sweat and sweat, a good sweat, the best kind of sweat you can have, post-workout recovery, stress relief. It has it all. Flatirons Fire and Design. If you want one, if you want to look at one, go to their showroom today or go online at flatironsfire.com.